Hi guys. So we're here today talking about Airbnbs, and we just wanted to cover bases on how to find the right Airbnb and make sure that you're on the right track and that it is profitable. Okay, and then you can see on the slide those are all like probably good examples of Airbnbs. Areas. So area is really important location. Um Obviously, Richmond Central, Richmond Metro is always a good area. Chesterfield, Richmond, Henrico. But Richmond is expanding, so even Hopewell, Petersburg, and the surrounding counties can even do pretty good with an Airbnb. There are a lot of ways to find Airbnbs, but the most important part about an Airbnb is making sure that it is profitable, that you're gonna get the days in, like it's gonna be rented throughout the month, and of course, that your mortgage is low enough where you can still make a, good amount of money. Okay, let's talk about online platforms. So Airbnb in itself is a great way to start. It obviously blasts out your Airbnb. It does a lot of marketing for you, and it has, when people want to stay, when they want to book your Airbnb, it's all right there in one place. Um, let's see. So, yeah, a good way to start to see your Airbnb, or if you're looking at a house and you want to know whether it will be a good Airbnb, you can go right on the Airbnb app and just look in that surrounding area and see what the other Airbnbs are going for. What I like to do is even go and look and see as if I was going to book it myself and see, is it booked, or is it empty 2 months in advance, So yeah, that's a really good place to start. There's other platforms that are pretty similar. I wouldn't really say there's much of a difference other than Airbnb is the most popular. There's Verbo, Booking.com, HomeAway. Um, there's others too, but I can't think of them off the top of my head. Okay, so real estate websites. So Zillow, Realtor.com, Redfin, all of these can help you find a good Airbnb. You can filter the criteria, maybe look at the smaller houses in Richmond that need a little bit of TLC but not too much work. And then we can stop here for some questions.
Yes. So one of the questions that I did get from Instagram is, what are some of our websites that we have listed, some of our Airbnbs, or one of your rents?
So, obviously we use Airbnb a lot, but I have a few clients that use like I'm sorry, what is it called? But basically it's not short term, it's more of a midterm thing. So and that I'm blinking out right now.
It's okay. It's okay. Maybe we can wait till the end for the.
But I know that it's a place where like traveling nurses uses this website a lot, and it's just more you rent it out by the room, or I mean Airbnb it out by the room.
Okay.
And then you said price, so obviously you can go on any of these websites and look at comparables. Like if you have a 2 bed 1 bath, look at what other 2 bed 1 baths are going for. Or there is this website called AirDNA. This is what I use. And and Yeah, so AirDNA, it's a really good website. It can be a little bit costly because there's only like a 1 year subscription available, but it lets you do like 3 free searches, I think, a day, maybe 4, and it will pull in all the data from Verbo, Airbnb, and it will guesstimate what it will guesstimate what the property will do as far as in Airbnb numbers, and it tells you the occupancy. It tells you like how many days it will be rented out, how much you should rent it out for, and yeah, it's a really good website.
And you used it before?
Yes, I do use AirDNA all the time. That's what I use to run numbers for myself and my clients.
Someone on TikTok is asking if you can turn an apartment to Airbnb.
Okay. So most definitely, this is actually a really good question, right? Because there's this thing called arbitrage, and if you own the apartment, 100%, you can turn that apartment into an Airbnb. But you might have to look into some of the guidelines with your apartment complex. But there's this thing called arbitrage, and this is when you basically look at houses for rent instead of for sale. And the best way to go about this is seeing what houses are kind of struggling to be rented out, and then you call either if it's the landlord themselves or a realtor or a property management company representing that house. Call them, ask them like, hey, I say if it's up for 1,400, you could try to, negotiate a little bit. Say, hey, I'll rent out your place for 1,300 a month if you let me Airbnb it. And that way you don't have too much stake in the game. You pay your rent, and then you get to keep whatever extra is left over from you Airbnb-ing out that rental. So yes, it's possible. And then apartment, if you're renting in it and living in it, it might be a little bit hard, but you would have to ask your leasing office. Yeah.
Okay.
Someone else wants to know what areas here in Richmond you can turn your house into Airbnb.
So, I mean, technically any area. What I see does very well are areas close to what like I would call Richmond's like touristy spots, and that's like Carey Street, VCU area, Broad Street, Maymont, Bird Park, any of those areas by the river, anywhere on the river, even if that's going down into more South Richmond. I always see that those are really good spots. And honestly, when you look, like when I use AirDNA, sometimes I won't even think that it's going to be a good Airbnb, and I'll just run it just to see. And it'll have really good numbers. It'll have like an 80% occupancy rate, that's pretty high on an Airbnb. And yeah, so Richmond is usually pretty safe, but it's always good to do your research because there's a lot of good pockets all over Central Virginia that could work. Whether that house is on a lake and it's in a very far away county from Richmond, or if it's, in your regular neighborhood in North Chesterfield. I've seen numbers work really well pretty much everywhere. But I've also seen numbers not work. It's very specific to the house, the location, and what it has going on, I think. Okay. We're good for questions right now? Okay, we'll keep going. Networking. Okay, yeah. So networking, especially if you're in the stage of just thinking about getting into Airbnbs, you don't really know what to do, you don't really know where to start. There are so many meetups every month, and you can find these on Facebook, Meetup. You can find them in a lot of places, but Facebook is pretty much the biggest place to network and find these events. And you'll see a lot of people talking about Airbnbs, talking about their Airbnbs. These are people that are actually, in it and doing it every single day. And when you go there, more than happy to network with you and help you and let you know, basically the path on how to get there. So it's really good to network. You'll never know like what you find out or who you meet. And yeah, they say your network is your net worth. So get out there and talk to people. But a good thing about networking is off-market properties, and that is properties that you won't see on your everyday Zillow, Redfin, all those big websites. These are properties that are more under the ground. You might see them on Facebook, you might get an email about them, but they aren't presented to the whole world in the same way. And these are really good, especially in this market, because a lot of things on the market are going for over asking. So you don't, we could find a really good house, in a great price range, but really good houses and really good price ranges go for over asking right now. So off market is super, super crucial, and you'll definitely hear about it at the investor meetups or at any networking event that has to do with real estate. Okay. Foreclosures and auctions. Okay. So yeah, these are super, super rare gems, I would say. Not rare, but they're gems. And you can find this. So where I go and look are your local real estate lawyers, like BWW Law, Glassons. These are all local real estate lawyers that deal with foreclosures in Central Virginia. You can literally go to their website and look at the foreclosure sales list, and it'll tell you every address, not every address, every address that it has with them, that is on the foreclosure area. It's actually in the process of being auctioned off.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, and then if you don't want to like look at that, you can go right on to public notices, fill out the criteria, and then when you fill out the criteria, you just type in either real estate, auction, trustee sale. Any of those are really good keywords. That's what it says on the website, and you can call these people. The hard part about this is getting their phone numbers. If you're super, super, due diligent and you want to go knock on their door, I would suggest it. Yeah, go for it. But if you're a little bit more shy like me and you would like to call first, this is where you would use a skip tracing website. Now, these can get a little pricey if you have a subscription, but if you just want to skip trace 1, 2, 3 addresses every, couple months, then it's not too pricey. I think some are like maybe like $20 for the day or something like that. And you can look up their address and then it will give you their number.
Okay, so you have done that before?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I actually call the foreclosure list a lot, and it is a bit of like tangling through owners, numbers, names, but it's so rewarding when it does work out. Super rewarding. Rewarding, yeah, that's the word. Okay. Any questions?
No, honestly, I didn't know that.
Okay. Direct marketing. Consider sending out letters or postcards to property owners in your target area. So yeah, this is super valuable. Postcards, especially in so there are demographically, certain people selling their houses, and a lot of people and certain demographics are checking their main source of I don't know, social media. I wouldn't say that, but like they watch the news and they look at their mail. So direct marketing is always super good. This is also like what I like to call like bird watching. So when you're just like out driving to, either if you're on the way home from work or running errands, I know that you see those houses that you're like, oh, that would be a good one, or that one needs work, or like if you don't see them, you'll start seeing them now that I've mentioned it. Good things, I mean, not good things, but things to look for are like bad roofs, siding falling off, AC units. No, I mean, not AC, window units. Sorry about that. Window units. Window units is these are all big factors that the house hasn't been updated in a while, and it could be vacant or they could be ready to move. They just, didn't know the next step. So yeah, direct marketing, super crucial, super easy, and it's super affordable. You can literally just make the little postcard and go print it out down at your local FedEx or Office Max. So yeah. So remember, when searching for properties, consider location, property size, amenities, local regulations, potential rental income. Yeah. So it's always good to have a backup plan just because, Airbnbs are a little bit more seasonal sometimes. So it's always good to make sure that could be turned into a profitable rental. Conduct through, do your research, do your due diligence. Yeah. And on the topic of Airbnbs, I would remember to factor in the furnishing costs. So it isn't cheap to furnish a house, and I wouldn't say it's the biggest expense, but furniture's furniture. And depending on how you like it or how you would want it, it could get pretty pricey. So you want to always make sure that you are thinking about furniture as you are looking at Airbnbs and adding that cost factor in.
Someone has a question. They want to know what's the price range to stage the house for an Airbnb.
So, I mean, I wouldn't say a stage.
Or-
So they could thrift it. There's so many different ways to do it, whether you want to thrift that stuff, whether you want to buy it at Walmart or you want to buy it at West Elm, the price really could change. And obviously the size of the property. If it's a 2-bed, 1-bath, it could be pretty cheap. 2 beds, sofa, coffee table, dining room table, and that could run you easily under $1,000. But some houses are bigger than that, and some people, it depends, if are you gonna put Airbnb TVs in every room, or if you're just gonna put TV in the living room. It kind of is up to that host and how good of an Airbnb host, or not how good, or what they want to provide as an experience.
Yeah, so I guess it could be used furniture or new, depending.
Yeah,
on
you could
what
thrift it. So it can be cheap, but I with Airbnbs, it's people just looking at the pictures, and with so many Airbnbs in this area, you do want your furniture to at least look nice, clean, and eye appealing, because they
will rate it.
yes, and they'll pick that. But you can also go down a different route. There's a lot of money to be made in Airbnb, so you could have just your simple bed, couch, bed, no TVs, no nothing. Will that affect the price? Probably eventually. Maybe we'll notice that we'll have to come down per night because we're not offering what other Airbnbs are offering. Yes, but it still can be very, profitable, and it can,
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Is there another question? All right. I think I have one more question.
Okay.
Jose wants to know how long does it take to start seeing profit?
So this
Like,
one's
would you see
hard.
profit after the first month or second or
So it depends on how much money you put into stake. So technically, like say you only put your down payment down for a house and closing costs, and now you're just paying the mortgage, and it was a pretty cheap house. Say you put like 10,000 down, and closing costs were like 5,000 out. So you have to bring 15,000 at closing. So that would take you about 6 months, maybe roughly, probably to pay off, if not more.
Basically, it depends on did they own the house already or they refinance?
Oh yeah.
If they refinance the house, it's like not to recover the down payment, but to get I think that it's mostly to see the profit after you already refinance or you own the house, or after you prepare the house, you launch that short-term rental.
Yes. But I would say it's pretty fast, right?
In my experience, it's been like some clients have been surprised, like the what is it? The one by Jeff Davis, that the clients were really surprised because within like 3 weeks they had like 8,000 in bookings. So
Yeah.
they saw it really quickly. However, they invested about 15,000 in furniture.
Yes.
Because
And you might have repairs.
Yes, so it takes some
Every case is different.
Yes, everything is different in every case, but you should be able to see something within a month.
Yeah, you'll definitely be making more than your mortgage within the month. Yes.
okay. All right. And the one last question. This one will be the last one for the night. Would you? I guess it would be an advice, or would you give? What your advice that you give? Do you suggest on having a property management company on your first Airbnb, or you know,
On
or
your
if it's a lot that you
So yeah, basically on your first Airbnb, unless it depends on that person's time schedule. So if you have a crazy busy day job that you do, then I would suggest getting a property manager. If you have more than more than four houses, I would suggest getting a property manager. It's kind of about what that
Unless you
person
enjoy.
yeah, unless it kind of like what that person can handle and can't handle, or wants to do or doesn't want to do.
have.
If they have a passion for property management, then hey,
Well, I guess someone would want to see more profit, 'cause
yes, you have to pay them. Yes, you do. But they do, you won't have tenants calling
All
you
the
in the middle of the
stress.
night. Yeah,
Yeah.
so it's a
It
give
yeah.
and take situation. Okay,
Okay.
I think that's it. Thank you guys.
Give it-
Bye.
You did great.